it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our FATTBOY Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty, and Big Bry.
But Dad, isn't it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
Boy, it has been a week, and look at that. A fatty fail right out of the gate. My Lord. Gotta love it. Let me pull up yep, here we go. Hey, look at that. Same shirt, same hat. Fatty fail right out of the gate. What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into Legal Ham to the Face. Let me bring in Big Brian. What's going on, bud?
Hey. Nothing. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, bud. I'm living the dream.
Sure.
How's everything going down there? How was the Home and Garden show this weekend, my friend?
Good. It was probably maybe one of the best ones we've done personally. So can't complain about that. The weather was great on Saturday, and we were trying to figure out if attendance would be higher when it's really nice weather or when it's kind of crappy weather. So like kind of a mix of both. You know, not too warm to where people want to be outside, but you know, not crappy to where you don't want to leave your house. So, but it was good. I think attendance was up from last year, and we did well.
And Casey's in here with the laughs already. Justin said, way to fail. Hey, you always got to start out the show right, Justin. And then James is in here, by the way. James, happy birthday, my friend.
Happy birthday, James.
I think it's a happy late birthday, but we sent you a birthday wish.
Right.
Brian, you got the rundown for the show tonight? Let them know what we're getting into tonight.
Yeah, we're getting into the Browns. Busy week for them with the combine, and free agency will be here by the time we do our show next week. I think it starts next Monday, so it's kind of creeping up on us. And then, you know, we're always good to talk some draft. I kind of wanted to get your feeling for where you sit with the quarterback situation, because I'm sure our minds will change 4 or 5 different times throughout the offseason. So I'm just kind of looking to see what your plan would be to kind of fix, you know, can't really fix it, but what you're thinking for the Browns quarterback room in 2026. So get into that, and then we'll talk some Cavs, couple big games against the Pistons, still kind of banged up. So I wanted to see your thoughts on that, and then kind of what you're looking for the final 20 games here. You know, what's your perfect scenario going into the playoffs?
All right, and FATTBOY Tuesday, you got concession stand foods tonight. I am super excited about that.
Yeah, they've really evolved over the years. It used to be, you know, a piece of pizza, a hot dog, popcorn, and nachos. That was it. Those are your only options. So, yeah, I mean, you can still keep it simple if that's what you like, but just picking your brain a little bit about good concession stand food, even if it was just a hot dog. You know, hey, this place had really good hot dogs, or you know, good pizza, or a good deal, or something like that. So there's a lot to get into there. And then the top 3 I was gonna have kind of came to me. Oh, and I don't know, we've talked about so much, maybe we've talked about this, but it crossed my mind again maybe a few weeks back. And you know, what are you doing? What are you watching when you're plopped on the couch? Your head is throbbing, you haven't really slept much, and you're dehydrated, and also known as a hangover. So what gets you through the hangover to put you in that nice state of mind to relax and just kind of not have to think about it? So top 3 things you like to watch when you're hungover.
I thought you were meaning like the hangover from the NFL until like the combine and all that stuff. Like what? Okay, now this
physical. Drank too much last night.
Right.
Drank too much last night, and be specific. Don't just say like, oh, I like rom-coms, or I like to watch reality TV.
Specific.
Give me a sport. Give me a TV show. Give me a movie. Something that you like watching.
I like it. All right, we got it. We got it. All
Yep.
right, Brian, do you have any shout outs this week, my friend?
No shout outs here.
I got no shout outs here. Just trying to get through the week.
Mhm.
Trying to get through the week. All right, well, let's get this show started. We'll start it off with our trivia, which is always brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. Don't forget that our show is brought to you by Harold Q and Lake Erie APA, also City Dogs Cleveland, and part of the Network 216. So here we go, Bri. I'm slowly getting the hang of it back together, and there it is. Because we talked nuts last week, we had to get a shout out for these nuts. I'm sorry, these nuts.
I used to have a T-shirt. There's a place, I think, in the Outer Banks, a nut house, a nut shop. You go buy nuts, called Try My Nuts. And so I thought it was really funny as a 17-year-old to get a Try My Nuts T-shirt. So I love that thing. I don't know what happened to it, but I don't know if it's still there. If you're down in Myrtle Beach, go. Not Myrtle Beach. Was it Myrtle Beach? No, I think maybe the Outer Banks, somewhere in the Outer Banks. Now that I think about it.
You started thinking. I was thinking of the movie Accepted with Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Ask me about my winner.
Yeah. I think that preceded that, but I can't remember what year that Accepted movie was made.
I love that.
Mid 2000s, huh? That's a good movie.
It's a good movie. All right, Bri. You got trivia tonight. What do we got in store for trivia tonight, my friend?
Well, believe it or not, it's NFL trivia. And it's I probably should have asked you this a couple weeks ago because it would have been more timely then. But I forgot. I didn't go back far enough in my my screenshots I saved. So we're doing it now. So I'm looking for the team NFL organization since 2000 that has had the most head coaches. And if you want bonus points, you can guess how many head coaches in 25 years.
It is the Cleveland Browns, correct?
Cleveland Browns are second.
Oh, there's a sneaky one. I think I know what the sneaky one is. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's kind of all right. Wow, really? There's somebody worse than the Browns when it comes to head coach.
It's hard to believe, right? Isn't it?
Seriously? Like, I know we got top spot in quarterbacks.
I don't know. The Bears have a lot.
Well, I know the Bears have a lot.
Close.
The Jets,
maybe that's a good question for a different week.
That's definitely going to be a trivia question for a different week.
You would think, just being Browns fans, you would think there's no way anybody can have more than us. But I feel like there's a sneaky, kind of like this one. There's sneaky suspicion. Like there's no way anybody's been worse than us in 25 years. Well, somehow, some way.
It feels like it really does. It feels like, all right, there's really somebody worse than us.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised too.
Shut up. I don't believe you. All right, we'll get the trivia. I still don't believe you. I think this is one of those. I think you're pulling me for a bride loop right here, where you get my hopes up like it's somebody else, and then you go at the end like, nah, I was just fucking with you. It is the Browns.
That would be double points for you for calling it out if that's the case. If you want to double down, and have the Browns be your answer, then you go ahead.
Well, I mean, Browns have had like 56 of them since 2000, so
sure seems like it. A couple guys only get them 1 year. That starts to add up quick.
Oh boy. All right, well, let's bump into the Cleveland headlines because we got some Browns news right out of the gate, buddy. Before we get into the trade for Titus Howard, Bri, it is official. The Browns have broke ground on the new stadium there by the airport. They have started excavating everything out now. And Bri, I wish I was part of that construction crew or We should have had me, you, and Adam out there with the Protovos, the excavator, and the skid steer. $63 million just to dig a hole, Bri.
And how deep do they have to go? Do we know?
Adam could dig that deep. I'm all right with that. We've done some sketchy shit before.
Like those guys, those TV shows where they're mining for gold and they're digging, just keep digging down further and further and further. I feel like it's got to be several stories below the ground. I would think. I wonder what Michigan's stadium is. That's the only one I can really compare it to. I don't know many other ones that are in the ground like that.
Technically, it is in hell, but I mean, tomato.
Well done.
Just had to say it.
I teed it up for you.
You left it right there. That wiffle ball pitch that didn't wiffle. I just fucking smacked that thing right out of there. All right, so yes, work has started. 2029 is the date. Now, Bri, the Browns did trade for Titus Howard, 5th round pick to the Texans for a right tackle who has played. I got his stats here. You asked me my thoughts on it, my reaction to it. Bri, I'm kind of. It's weird when it comes to offensive linemen and trading for offensive linemen, because in my mind, if somebody's willing to give up an offensive line and trade it away, Bri, that means either A, that offensive lineman isn't that good, or they have somebody younger behind that they think is better. So I'm always leery about offensive lineman trades, especially in the NFL, because nobody's going to give up a good offensive lineman. But from what people have said, from what people have talked about, it actually seems like a pretty good trade for the Browns. We have massive holes in the offensive line. He has played right guard. He has played tackle. He has played left guard. So he has played all around the offensive line. We only gave up the 5th round pick. Bring him in, signed him to a 3-year extension. He is 29 years old, Bri. So we front loaded it like we always do. Mm-hmm. I'm still kind of on the fence about this, Bri, but I mean, I think it's okay because you get at least somebody in on the offensive line that will help out and help this kind of draft out and help this process going forward. So we're not completely gutted on the offensive line. How did you feel about the trade?
Pretty similar to you, just not knowing how to react to it. Yeah, it's good getting in a veteran, getting in somebody who was a former 1st round pick. Has played in many big games and, getting close to 30, but not quite on the other side of 30 yet. So still has a few good years left. But, yeah, giving up a 5th round pick, I don't have an issue giving up a 5th round pick. But then the contract, you throw that in there and it's like 3 years, $63 million. So $21 million a year. And I just think, like, is that really the best way that we can spend $21 million? And so I know the name. I know the guy's name. I've heard of him. I remember when he was drafted, which kind of makes me feel old. I remember some conversation around him, like, yeah, he's good, but he's not great. So, when I really want to kind of figure out, well, how good is this guy? I Google Madden ratings and I go see what's his Madden rating, because I feel like that will give you an accurate stance for where the guy is compared to other right tackles. And after looking at that, he's rated right in the middle, like 15th, 16th best right tackle in the league. There's 2 guys. There's Lane Johnson, who's been a staple at the top for years, and Penei Sewell, who's just been a stud for the last half decade. But then after that, it really falls off. So everyone else is kind of closely bunched together. But yeah, so just not knowing really what kind of player we're getting. The more you hear about it, the more you hear that he's a very good pass blocker and he's a subpar run blocker. So, you kind of take the good with the bad. So I've kind of been feeling a little down in the dumps just based on like thinking, well, Houston took advantage of the Browns again. Like they saw a team that was desperate for offensive linemen, and they said, let's get this guy. We're thinking about cutting him anyways. So let's give the Browns a call and let's see if they want him. And then not only do we want him, we're going to pay him this giant amount of money. And, I didn't even think we had that kind of money just laying around that we could give somebody. So just, I know we're going to be strapped against the cap at some point. So like we have a limited amount of dollars to give guys in free agency. So why did you choose to give such a giant sum to this one guy? Like I thought Linderbaum, who's by all accounts a top 3, top 5 center in the league, and young still, I thought he'd get 20 to 25 million. So I'd far rather go that route than trying to get overpay for this guy. But then the more I've chewed on it a little bit, I kind of remember back to the Amari Cooper trade. And hey, we gave up a 5th rounder for that guy too. We paid him $20 million. And that worked out pretty well for us. So, after thinking about that, it might not end up being a bad thing. Certainly you needed some stability with its offensive line. You can't have 5 rookies out there, 5 guys that are very little experience in the NFL. So I'm okay with it. I just worry, but I've worried for a while that it's really going to put us in a bad spot with the cap. But up to this point, it really hasn't. It hasn't restricted us a ton on doing what we want to do. So till that day comes, I guess I'll live with it. I think he's an average right tackle. So, we've been through this before with Jack Conklin. When we signed him to that big extension, we weren't super happy about it, but when he was actually healthy, he played decent. And this sounds like this Howard is relatively healthy. So you need somebody out there. With Conklin and Dwan Jones being constantly hurt, it'd be refreshing to have somebody that you can count on.
Yeah, he's only had two years that he missed more than a handful of games, and that was 23 and then 19 when he came in and started. But yeah, like the past 2 years, he's played all 16 games. So he's healthy. And Brian, I mean, let's be honest. We joke around about upgrading this roster, and even just an average player at the offensive line right now is an upgrade.
Sure.
I hate to say that, but if you can upgrade a position even just a little bit, especially if our right tackle is always injured, and then we're putting in pretty much people that are just opening up the gates and getting blitzed all the time. Bobby G said he played over 90% of available snaps for his career. So
pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, best availability is the best in the NFL. Got to be available.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, we'll see what happens. I'm not like woo about it, but I'm like, okay, we got an offensive lineman. That helps out, and that kind of transitions into one of our other things here. You have one here, and we'll go into this one. We got number 6 coming up. A lot of people are thinking offensive line. A lot of people are thinking wide receiver. And Brian, what are your top 3 options at number 6 coming up here in the NFL draft?
Yeah, I think this changes it a little bit because you have a right tackle now, and I think maybe some part of the reason they like him a little bit is because he can be versatile. He can scoot into a right guard if you have to. If you decide Dwan Jones is your guy at right tackle and he's actually healthy, then you can bump Howard inside. I would think he would be better on the outside because he's a better pass blocker. But he has that versatility to where you can move him around on the line. So, I look at a guy like Maui Noah that we talked about last week, and I feel like he's pretty similar to what Howard is. Right tackle that maybe you could move into guard. And so you don't really want to. Hopefully Andrew has learned, and Barry has learned his lesson on drafting right tackles and trying to make them left tackles. So hopefully he won't do that with another high draft pick. yeah, I don't know if Maui Noah is at the top of the list. At one point, he was probably at the top of my list, just because we really needed it, and a lot of people thought he was the best tackle in the draft or the best offensive lineman, even if you didn't know where you're going to play him. So I really think you start looking at the other needs. Guard, it's probably, unless he's Quentin Nelson or somebody, you don't draft guards in the top 10. Like, unless he's a absolute first ballot Hall of Famer, you're not taking a guard that high. So you have to look at wide receiver. And it might surprise you, might surprise a lot of people who know me as a Michigan fan. I'm starting to like Tate. I think he kind of reminds me. Maybe he's comparable a little bit to a Michigan guy in Nico Collins, just maybe a tick shorter. But just the way he plays big. Maybe not the most physical guy out there, maybe not the fastest guy out there, as we saw with his 40 time, but just knows how to get open, and just a true professional at the wide receiver position, and a quality guy, it sounds like, from all accounts. So that's something that the Browns really need. Would I like to take him at 10 or 12 or something? Yeah. But I think this draft just isn't the strongest of drafts. So, he's probably going to be the top receiver off the board. So there's a chance he doesn't even make it to 6. If somebody takes him at 4 or 5 or trades and jumps you. So I think Tate might, you just go down the list of wide receivers. I like right now, I'm liking Tate number 1. Then I still like Jordan Tyson. I'm still intrigued by him. Maybe I'm being optimistic, thinking that he won't have the injury concerns that he had in college. And then this Lemon would be my 3rd. A lot of people are comparing him now to Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I think that that's going to be a high bar to ask him to clear, because Amon-Ra is in a great offense. He plays with a good quarterback, and he comes in. He quickly became the number 1 option in that offense. And, so I think maybe that's what's helping Lemon's draft stock a little bit, moving up that way. But so those would be my top 3, because Fano, I can try to talk myself into him because he's maybe potentially the best offensive tackle in the draft. But again, he'd have to move from right tackle to left tackle. And I still have a bad taste in my mouth for that. But ideally, where I'm at right now is I would like to trade down. If somebody falls in love with one of the Ohio State defensive guys, I think there's an opportunity there to trade down to 10 or 12, and maybe pick up one of those 3 receivers, or this Freeling from Georgia is kind of skyrocketing up draft boards. And what's nice about him is he's a big dude. So you don't have to worry about him just being overpowered or anything. But also he's a true left tackle. He's played left tackle pretty much, I think, most of his collegiate career. He doesn't have a ton of starts under his belt, but I think he would be great if like I said, if you do trade down. Taking him at 6 is a little rich. It screams kind of desperation a little bit, because by the end of the year, people were probably thinking he might sneak into the back end of the first round, and now you're talking about taking him at 6. But there's still a lot of time to figure stuff out, and so I'm sure my takes will flip a little bit in the next couple months as I hear guys talk and hear more about other guys. But everyone's talking about how great next year's draft is going to be. So if I can pick up a first rounder in next year's draft, or even like a second rounder in next year's draft, to only move a couple back, and maybe an extra 3rd in this year or next year, I would look to do that. What about you?
No, I like. See, the thing is like we talked about this, and Brian, like you said, next year's draft is supposed to be better. Brian, this was supposed to be the elite of the elite draft this year, with all the quarterbacks and everything else that were supposed to be coming out, and it turned out to be a dud of a draft. What if next year's a dud of a draft too? Like, you can't.
Possible. Sure.
And that's the thing that kind of sucks about this. Now, Bry, the one thing, and I haven't been on his bandwagon that long, but Monroe Freeling is the only left tackle right now. Everybody else is right tackles. I am so glad that they are throwing up off the chart. Bry, we've had the biggest problem with getting a left tackle since Joe Thomas. And guess what? He's the only left tackle. I know you could probably get him later rounds, but if you want a left tackle, get him at 6. Shore up the other side of that offensive line since you got Titus Howard on the right side. You got him. You got DeJuan Jones still. We can figure out something with going to. I like him at 6. Carnell Tate, of course. I just think he is the best all-around wide receiver in this draft. And when I say all-around, I mean route running. I mean speed. He is the kind. Hey, Brian Hartline did a great job of getting all these wide receivers to where they need to be. And then, Brian, with you, if they're not there, trade down. I hate saying that, but like I know Cincinnati is looking for a whole bunch of help on defense. We've already broken that seal with trading with Cincinnati. You know, if they want to jump up to 6 and we take 10, I'm okay with that. We'll figure it out from there. You can still get an offensive lineman at 10. You can still get some other stuff going on there. But I don't know. I don't think they'll move out of 6, Brian. I want them to, but I think they're going to end up taking an offensive lineman. I don't think it's going to be a wide receiver. And the only reason why is Brian track record. What does Andrew Berry not like to do? Draft wide receivers, especially in the first round. So I have a feeling that if he's going to draft a wide receiver, it would probably be the 24th pick, and he'd probably go after the offensive line and try to rebuild this offensive line and protect whatever quarterback we're going to have, which we'll get into here in a second, which is perfect segue for that one too, Bri, because you brought me up. All right. You brought up your ideal realistic plan for quarterback in 2026. My God, can we just throw a grenade on it and blow them all up? Can we do that?
This is why I'm trying to pin you down, because whenever I say, oh, tell me about Shedeur Sanders, I hate him. Tell me about Deshaun Watson, I hate him. Well, who do you want to quarterback the Browns? Anybody but them. All right, give me a plan. Give me names for anybody but those two guys.
Can we get Timmy from South Park?
Nope.
Are you sure? Because I think he's available.
I want names. Give me a plan, Mr. GM.
Oh, my God.
Give me a plan that's better than what we have.
I know, but it's not even a plan, Bri, because the people, one person, actually two people you technically can't get rid of because you drafted one and the other one you paid way too much money for.
Well, yes. So they'll be a part of your room, but yeah. Are you a Kyler Murray guy?
No.
You've mentioned Mac Jones, but you're gonna have to trade something for him. Would you trade a second rounder for him? Do you want to draft a guy in the first round?
I don't even think drafting. There's no other quarterback, even though like people are saying Ty Simpson. I don't think there's another quarterback besides Mendoza that should be even sniffed. I don't even think Mendoza should be sniffed in the first round, but he's going to be sniffed in the first round. Kyler Murray, God, he's just. I think Kyler Murray just doesn't care about football at all. I really don't. I think he got his payday and he's just like, I'd rather sit at home and play video games than care about football. I really do. Mac Jones, a retread. Would I consider trading for Mac Jones? Yes, but if you're bringing in Mac Jones at that point in time, Brian, it's not going to be a quarterback competition because Mac Jones should be your starter for next year. They were talking Anthony Richardson, trading for Anthony Richardson. Now, if you bring in Anthony Richardson, that's quarterback competition for everybody else. If you try to sign Malik Willis, guess what? You sign Malik Willis, that's saying that Malik Willis is going to be your starter for next year. So there's a lot of like weaving moments in this. Me personally, honestly, if I have to say it, and it's not that I hate Shedeur, I would probably go Shedeur first.
So you're content with this quarterback room, is what you're telling me after all the complaining
for this year, Bri.
Okay,
for this year.
That's all I'm asking.
Now, the thing is the one thing that scares me the most, and it terrifies the shit out of me, Bri, is I got a horrible feeling that Deshaun Watson is going to be our starter at the beginning of the year. I got this sickening feeling in my stomach.
Yeah, you're fanning scared. That's what a lot of Browns fans are doing right now. You're not alone. There's a lot of Browns fans that are terrified. Yeah, it's football. Don't be scared. Yeah. So here's the good thing. If Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson are as bad as you think they are, then that's good news for the Browns, because we might not win many games, and that means a high draft pick for next year. So in my opinion, if they're as bad as people think they are, that's great. If we win 1 or 2 games this year, I'm not going to complain. If we get a top 2 pick in next year's draft, I'm not going to complain. It's not going to be a 1 year. It's not going to be a 1 quarterback draft next year. I can almost say that for certainty. And I understand what you're saying about this year's draft. They were saying it was going to be a good one, and there have been guys who have fallen. We've talked to Aller, Nussmeier, Klubnik, but also people were thinking that Sellers was going to come out. He went back. People are holding on to the hope that Arch Manning would come out. He went back. So Dante Moore, he would come out. He went back. So like these guys are coming out next year. There's no more going back for them. So I think, yeah, this year it's going to be a rough one. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, all right, if you hate Sanders, if you hate Watson, are you just going to eat a green one and let's do this? Or are you hopeful that give me a name that they can sign in free agency, give me a quarterback they could realistically trade for, give me a guy in the draft that you think could be a value?
Brian, I don't have anybody.
Okay, so one guy I'm thinking of, like, it's hard for me to say this. If I'm Todd Monken and I'm trying to win as many games as I can this year, then it's kind of different than where we're at as fans. Because as fans, do I really care if we win? Does it make a huge difference to me if we win 6 games or 8 games? Not really. I don't really care. Does it make a big difference if we win 4 games and are picking 6th overall, or 5 games and we're picking 9th overall? No, it doesn't. Because as Jim Rome always says, give me an A or give me an F. Make the playoffs or give me the first pick overall. But if they're really trying to win as many games as possible, I think you'd look at somebody like, I still think Tua has something in the tank. And if Miami cuts him, and right, these aren't great options. None of you're going to roll your eyes at every single name that I throw out there, because there's no Joe Burrow is not a realistic option.
No, and I get what you're saying about Tua, but Bri, that's a Russian roulette gun going off like we got with Denzel Ward right now. One more concussion, that guy's going to be speaking out the side of his ear.
Well, yeah, but
and guess what? We play in the AFC North, not Miami. We're playing on frozen ground, man.
Right, and that's why it's going to be hard for any team to look at him and say he's our long-term solution, because you just don't know. I mean, he could be. Unfortunately, we're going through it with JOK. He could be very close, one hit away from his career being over. So, but again, I'm looking at through the scope of Todd Monken trying to win as many games as possible. I think he might be, if he becomes available, he might be the best quarterback that you can bring in here, and you're not going to have to pay him a ton of money, because he'll be still collecting all this money from Miami, and you could hopefully pay him like the veteran minimum or close to it. And he might come here if you promise to give him the job. So I think that's an option. I like the option of getting a guy in the 3rd or 4th round and just trying to develop him. It sucks that we wasted a 3rd round pick on Dylan Gabriel last year because nobody wants to go through that again and get a project quarterback. And, that move alone should have been reason to fire Andrew Berry, because just flushing a 3rd round pick down the toilet because you think he's a smart guy is just, fireable offense. So I think I understand where people might have some fatigue there. Great, another 3rd round quarterback. But bring him in and try to develop him and just go forward with Shador. And I'm not even advocating for like another 3 or 4 man competition at quarterback. Because we proved last year it's just way too messy. 2 guys at most. So if you want Deshaun and Shador to just battle it out, see if either one of them can be an NFL starting quarterback, be my guest. I'm fine. I've come to the realization I'm fine with that. If they're as terrible as a lot of people think, then I'm good with that too. But I said a couple weeks ago, I think your defense is too good to have you tank. Like, Browns really should have won 7 games this year with terrible quarterback play. They should have won 7 games, which is just crazy to think about. So I think, you're going to be looking at picking somewhere between 5 and 12 again next year, unless either one of those quarterbacks can find something.
And we've talked about it multiple times on this show about being in purgatory. Purgatory is not
That's
where
what the Steelers are. Yeah.
And the thing that scares me the most about where we're at with Shador Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and even guys, and I want people to hear me out on this because I know their names are so hot right now. Malik Willis. I know that name's so hot right now. I know Mac Jones is so hot right now. Anthony Richardson. I understand they failed at their first spot. We've had people like Sam Darnold come up, and everybody's like, oh, my God, they're going to be the next Sam Darnold for us. Not going to lie, people, it hasn't worked out for the Browns when we've done it that way. So, just saying, you might want to pump the brakes on it. I hate to say this because, I just have a feeling with Shador Sanders and Deshaun Watson, we're going to be stuck in that purgatory range of quarterback play. We're going to be okay enough just to win, but we're going to be bad enough that we can't do anything with it. We're going to be in that 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 wins, and that's where we're going to be stuck at. And I don't want that for the Cleveland Browns because I think the Browns deserve better. And now this is all speculative because Todd Monken might come in here and we might be just, hey, Bill Belichick. Todd Monken is the new Bill Belichick. And we got our offensive guy. We found our coach that nobody wanted, blah, 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 blah. It might all change. But right now, I just feel with those 2 guys in your quarterback room is purgatory. And no, Fatty doesn't want 8 or 9 wins. Fatty wants to go to the playoffs. Fatty wants to go to the Super Bowl. Fatty doesn't want 8 or 9 wins. I don't want what Pittsburgh has. Would it be nice to have what Pittsburgh has? Yes. But that got old. That's why Mike Tomlin had to step away because it finally got old. I want to win, Bri. I'm tired of, we got 1 taste, 2 tastes of playoffs, and it wasn't even like a good taste. It was like, all right, we got nibbled. That's awesome. We made it. Now what's the next step? And then we have a 4 and 12 season, 4 and 13 season. It's like, oh, awesome. This is what we have next. This is where we're at now. I just want to be out of the purgatory, Bri. And I don't want the quarterback questions. That's the other thing. Like, I want the guy. I want the guy. I don't want this. Yeah, he's our starter. Is he going to play a preseason? No, probably not. I want that guy. I don't want we're going to see. There's going to be a competition. We're going to work it out with these guys. He'll take the first 2 games. This guy will take the next 2 games. We'll see what happens. Blah, blah, blah. No, I finally want the guy for the Cleveland Browns. We haven't had the guy for the Cleveland Browns in I don't know how long, Bri.
Well, Baker, I would think. Well, and Deshaun was the guy. We made the biggest commitment to him that we've made to any player in Cleveland Browns history. So he was the guy, but then injuries started to pile up, and he didn't hold up his end of the bargain. He just hasn't looked good. So I think the only way you're gonna get your answer to the guy is if you sign Malik Willis and you give him $25-30 million a year. I think that's them telling you, okay, he's our starter, and then these guys will figure them out later. Or if you draft a quarterback in the first round, if you draft a Ty Simpson, that's you saying this is our quarterback of the future. This is our Jackson Dart. To me, that's again screams of desperation for a franchise that is just looking for anything to back. So I'm not interested in that. Again, another small, frail guy bringing to Cleveland. When are we going to learn? We haven't yet to this point, but either any way you slice it, it's not going to be good for the next 365 days.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not trying to. Okay, I am looking at Malik Willis right now, and just okay.
Oh yeah,
So
he hasn't done anything. I mean, yeah,
he hasn't even started a full season. Yeah, so
he started like 6
season.
games. He started like 6 games. Like Malik Willis, if you're looking at his stats, that's not what's going to get him a lot of money. You have to like watch his games that he played to be like, oh, well, that was a really nice throw. Oh, he beat the Ravens. Oh, he's making plays left and right here. Like that's the thing that would get you excited about Malik Willis, not his stats. I'm not advocating for him. I'm just
I'm just saying, like this is like the retread stuff that we talk about. Like the guy's he's been in the league 4 years and AJ McCarron. Fuck, let's bring him back. Thank God they messed up that trade.
There you go.
This is what we're talking about. Like you're going to sign a guy that's barely started, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's the guy." Are you kidding me? Like if he's the guy, somebody else would have signed him other than Green Bay. Tennessee wouldn't have let him go. Like I don't know.
Again, it would be a desperate move in my eyes. Them being sick of losing, them saying, honestly, it would be hard to argue with this line of thinking that, like we just talked, the Browns defense with below average quarterback play can win them 6 or 7 games. Like with horrible quarterback play, yeah, maybe you only win 3 or 4. But with below average quarterback play, you're winning 6, 7 games. If you can just get somewhere close to average and our defense stays healthy, they'll keep you in the hunt. Now, that's assuming that the defense doesn't fall off after losing Jim Schwartz. So if the Browns want or be like, we're sick of losing, we want to get a quarterback in here. We're sick of waiting around for these quarterbacks to come out and have a good one fall to us in the draft. We're just going to be aggressive. We're going to go get this guy and, not waste this defense any longer. So if they do that, it's hard to argue with it. The fans, all of us, unfortunately, we have an end to where we're not going to be around anymore. But sometimes as a fan, you're thinking like, oh, well, as long as we're good by 2029 or something like that, there's a lot of fans that aren't going to be around in 2029. So just, you can understand, let's do it now. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. So, let's go after it because we have this great defense.
And Bobby, I know that he was a developmental quarterback when he was drafted by the Titans. I get that. I'm just saying that, Browns fans, it's like other people's backups are like Browns fans' Kool-Aid. Like they just can't get enough of it, Bri. They just drink that shit up and just drink it up and drink it up and drink it up. Because guess what? We don't have one of our own. It's just, I can't. I would go this year, and it pains me to say it, I would go this year with Shador and Deshaun. See what the hell happens. Maybe you catch lightning in a bottle with Shador. Maybe, God forbid, maybe Deshaun, after being 9 years off from the league, it feels like, can come back and actually do something, but I highly doubt it. But even if he does, Brian, then that puts you in a more awkward situation than you were with this quarterback class anyways, because guess what? Whether it be Shador, which would be fine because we have a quarterback for the future, but if it's Deshaun, guess what? Now we got to talk about paying the guy. He had one good season. Is that good enough to pay this guy to keep him around more? You want to pay him another $200 million guaranteed? Like, come on. I'm over this. This quarterback talk just sucks. I can't help it. It just sucks.
Welcome to being a Browns fan.
Woo!
Hooray!
Yay! All right, Bryce. So let's see here. We're going to speed through this one. Any takeaways or standout players from the combine? I got 2.
Yeah, go for it. Mm-hmm.
Sonny Styles. Holy shit. What a show he put on at the combine. And Bry, my new favorite player. He's got the glorious ginger mullet that just flows in the wind. It just flows in the wind. Was he the tackle from Iowa or something like that? I love that.
I don't know.
Doombar.
I'm not aware of him.
Brian, you know who it is. I'll find a picture of this guy. He is freaking amazing, Bry.
I remember that guy from was it North Dakota State that got drafted by the Buccaneers, and he turned out to be a pretty good player. Mock, I think, was his name.
Jennings Dunker is his name, Bry.
His name is Jennings Dunker.
Jennings Dunker. He played for Iowa.
I don't even need to see a picture of him. I love him already.
Right?
What a name that is. And he's from Iowa, offensive lineman from Iowa?
Yeah, guess what his favorite place is? Culver's.
Of course it is. Yeah, it's in Iowa. That's close to Wisconsin. So, do you know anything about, like, is he supposed to be, like, drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round or something? Is he good?
Bobby Gingerplow is what he calls him.
Nice. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I would love all that.
Dude, I would love him in the 2nd round. I mean, Bobby,
do you know anything about him?
I do know that he is, I think he played guard. Is he guard for them?
Like first team, second team, all Big Ten, anything like that?
No, I don't even know.
No. You take him at 6. What the hell?
I'm tired. Brian, the red mustache with this. Oh my God! Hold on.
Like I said, I don't need to see a picture of him. I can kind of Jennings Dunker. What a name! Good on his parents.
Oh yeah. Hold on. This is the great thing about this show is I can add. All right. Let's see here. Share screen.
Is this the video of him running or just a picture of him?
Just a picture of him. I think it's on Instagram. This one. There it is. So take a look at this glorious specimen, Bry. If that is not a Cleveland Browns offensive lineman,
jeez,
I don't know what is. Look at that glorious man.
Kind of intimidating.
Right? Big Mike.
Okay, I'm on board.
For him. I can't take credit for it. Gingerplow.
Gingerplow.
That's what we're going to
I hope his play lives up to his name and lives up to his hairstyle. He'd be a fan favorite for sure.
Ooh, Cavs are up 54-48 at halftime. Thank you, Bobby, for the update. And okay,
I was wondering if that's on TV.
Bobby goes, so you want a QB, but you don't want to look for one. It's not. I don't.
Welcome to my world, Bobby. He hates every quarterback that we ever talk about. I'm trying to get real answers out of him.
I don't want to retread. I don't.
Well, give me a quarterback in college not named Julian Sayin that you desire.
Oh my God! Fuck it. Fine, Drew Aller. Give me Drew Aller. Bring Drew Aller here.
You have zero conviction behind that. You can't just throw out. I need you to plant your flag in somebody and say, "That's my guy. I think he's going to be a good quarterback."
Who's the quarterback for Liberty? Give me that guy. I don't care. Anybody.
Malik Willis.
No.
See, this is the problem with you. Give me anybody. Give me anybody, but you don't plant your flag. Give me You talk about how bad everyone is, but give me somebody you think would be good in Cleveland.
Well, it won't be Julian Sand because I don't want Julian Sand.
Thank God.
And I'm not an Arch Manning fan. But I really did. I thought it was going to be Nussmeier. I thought it was.
Okay.
I did. I don't know.
I didn't know much about. Yeah, I knew their names, the Nussmeyers, the Klubniks, but I didn't know much about their game. But yeah, I was like you. Hey, this is supposed to be the year. 1 year ago, we thought, 2 first-round picks in next year's draft is going to be loaded. We're going to have our pick of the litter. We'll have 2 top 10 picks, and then here we are. Talking about next year again because this year sucked. And shoot, I would run to the podium. Maybe at some point, because we're running out of show here, we talk about what you would give up. I know you're not a Mendoza guy because you hate every quarterback, but I would run to the podium for Fernando Mendoza because A, he makes things so clean for you. He's your guy. You're planting your flag, number 1 overall pick, and he's got the size. He's got a good attitude, and he's a freaking winner. Maybe it's just 1 year, but he beat the Buckeyes, and everyone talks about how great their defense is. So it's not like he's not playing anybody.
And so Bobby said, to be fair, Retread won the Super Bowl, and I
Sure.
I get that. Bobby, maybe catch lightning in a bottle, but see, that's a Minnesota Vikings screw up and a Seattle Seahawks game. But we're the Cleveland Browns. It doesn't work for us like that, Bobby. It doesn't. You know what happens to us? As we go after a guy, he gets suspended for 11 games. Then he blows out his knee. Then he tears his Achilles. Then he does it again. So, yeah, that's how it works out for the Cleveland Browns. That's what we do for the Cleveland Browns. So
Need somebody to break the cycle.
I don't know about Mendoza, right? I don't. You think?
Of course you don't. You hate everybody. Every quarterback's not good enough.
Okay, fine. Yeah, Mendoza's going to be the
for the
savior
whole
for the Cleveland Browns.
For the whole show, I've been asking you to give me one name that you like.
Mendoza's it. Just trade the whole draft. I would trade every pick. Go up to number 1.
Wouldn't that solve your problem? Even if he's not good, wouldn't that solve your problem?
There it is. Solve the problem. Mendoza number 1. And then in 3 years, we look back at this and we both look like dummies.
You can't get them is the problem. They worked too hard. They tanked too hard this year. Something that, in retrospect, you should have done as a Cleveland Browns. And yeah, to the victor go. That's why we talk about tanking in the NBA. Why is tanking such an issue? Because it works. We should have tanked. We should have got, at least a quarterback that we can all get excited about, rather than talking about this crap for 365.
Well, Brian, it doesn't look like we're getting to the Cavs tonight.
That's okay. We don't have a whole lot to get into with them. We can talk. Push it to next week. Not much will change. Hopefully, no more injuries.
And we'll push. Free agency will start when we do the show next week, right?
Yeah. So that's why it's going to be interesting. I would assume the Browns would make a move between now and then, at least one, or small time trade or something.
I would think so. Give me one person you're looking for.
Well, I thought Linderbaum was unattainable because he would cost too much. Mm-hmm. But then we're throwing all this money at Howard, and I'm like, well, maybe some people are correct. Maybe the salary cap isn't really a real thing. You just keep kicking money down the road, and you just never deal with it. So if he's attainable, that would be the guy I would like. And not into Willis. I wouldn't mind Daniel Jones, but I don't think there's a chance in hell he's getting out of Indy. They would be stupid to. And plus, he can't play for like 9 more months or something.
He just got franchise tagged.
Oh, Daniel Jones did. It's very odd because he won't be able to play for basically the entire year. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm incorrect there. Yeah, I don't know. Linderbaum is the guy that kind of sticks out to me. Yeah, we could still use some parts. You're definitely going to get an offensive lineman. Chances are we've never heard of him. But talk about a guy on the Browns, Tevin Jenkins. I wouldn't mind bringing him back because he has that versatility to where he could play a couple positions on your line. So offensive line. There's not really a wide receiver out there that I get excited about. Wandale Robinson, maybe, but he's pretty small. This Alec Pierce, there seems to be a lot of. You like Dobbs? Okay, I can listen to Dobbs. I think he kind of gives me Amari Cooper vibes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I had my choice, it would be a wide receiver. It'd probably be Dobbs, and God, even Debo's on there. Debo, I love Debo.
Oh, is he a free agent?
I think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Debo. He's very versatile and just been dealing with some injuries as of late.
Well, I'm going to plant my flag, Bri. I think they should go after Russell Wilson. I think he is the savior for the Cleveland Browns. You gotta let Russ cook. Bring him in here. He is the true veteran that this team needs.
You know who would be better than Russell Wilson? Anybody. Give me Oscar the Grouch. Give me Elmo as my quarterback. Anybody would be better than him.
Perfect. We can do that.
Give me my 5-year-old neighbor down the street.
Perfect. My 12-year-old will be right there. All right, bud. You want to get into some Fat Boy Tuesday and close out the show?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk some concession foods, buddy. And
now, it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
We are doing Fat Boy Tuesday and concession foods, Brian. Why did you come up with concession foods, buddy?
I forget how it brought to mind, but I went to the Cavs game at the beginning of January with my brother and my nephew, and concessions weren't great. I ended up getting chicken tenders, I think. I got like 4 chicken tenders about that big, literally a 1/4 inch thick, and then just like a crap ton of French fries. And guess how much that was?
Oh my God, probably $30.
$20. $20 for these tiny little chicken tenders and just a bunch of like soggy fries.
Was it better than the lean cuisine where you only got 3 French fries?
No, it wasn't, because I probably could have got 10 lean cuisines to that. Yeah, no, definitely not. But yeah, so that got me thinking, like, well, I should have made a better decision. But then, what else can you really get? And I went to the Browns game this year. I don't think I ate anything, but the Browns used to have a chicken tender basket that was curly fries and better tenders than I had at the Cavs game, and it was $10, $9 or $10. And this was maybe just a year or two before COVID. So yeah, bring that back. And then you hear about like the Atlanta Falcons, who have very affordable concessions. So,
dude, did you see the one picture that came out where you get like a hot dog, a bag of chips, something else, and then like a Coke for like $7 at one of the games?
Sure, that's all you need.
I was like, oh, shit.
Something simple like that. Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I still love like the Gorgon food where they're like, oh, here, take a look at this helmet full of ice cream and blah, 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 blah. And like, the 14-foot hot dog you can get at the Texas Rangers game. I love all that stuff. But I think just going classic with the concessions is like the way to go. Like a soft pretzel with nacho cheese.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Popcorn. The Falcons have Chick-fil-A, which is closed on Sundays.
Yeah, I didn't. I remember. Somebody asked Stefanski about that. Maybe part of my take, guys, or something. Makes no sense. But yeah. So, and I was honestly thinking maybe this got my brain going a little bit. Thinking about, would it be too early to take my 1.5-year-old daughter to a Indians game, a Guardians game
No.
this year. She'll be 2 at the time.
Yeah.
And I would have to maybe get seats where it couldn't really be hit by a foul ball. Although, also seeing the inspiration of you've seen the video of the guy holding his baby and the beer, drops the baby, grabs the ball, comes back to grab the baby. Like,
those are
one of the
priorities right there.
Yeah, one of the greatest plays maybe in all of sports. That one. So that was getting me thinking, like, okay, maybe I could take her to a baseball game. She probably wouldn't care about it, but then the concessions, like, I feel like the concessions at the Guardians game are part of the draw. Like, they go above and beyond. And I haven't been there in probably 3 or 4 years, but what did they used to have, like a build your own nachos?
Oh yeah.
I think, and then the Montgomery Inn.
Yeah, they got
Barrio was there. Yeah, Montgomery Inn. They have what's the hot dog place?
Happy
Cleats,
Dogs.
you said?
Happy Dogs there.
Happy Dog, yeah. So
I mean, they pretty much got everything. I just, when you started talking about it, I started thinking like old school, like when I was like in high school. You get like the tub of popcorn, like you said, the slice of pizza that's been sitting out forever, but still some substance. The cheese, the pretzels with cheese. Trying to think what else. Every now and then you get a place that does like the sloppy joes or like the shredded chicken sandwiches you can grab.
Okay.
Cups of chili, especially on football nights. They make that cup of chili or a cup of soup that you can get and just sit and eat that while you watch the football game, especially on the cold nights here in Cleveland. But even like just the chips, just the Snickers, the bag of chips, the candy that you can get, the Reese cups. Like, you're just walking up and be like, all right, give me a bag of chips, a Snickers, and a Mountain Dew. And then just walk back.
Well, I really like what they've done at Cavs games and Browns games, to where you get a beer. You just walk up, you go into a cooler. It's almost like a convenience store. Go into a cooler, grab whatever beer you want, go and do like the self-checkout, and then you're back in your seat, rather than having to wait in like some really long line. You're in and out very quickly, and you got like a selection right in front of you. You don't have the draft beers as much, but the canned beers. So I think that's the way to go. But then food that was kind of coming back to my mind from over the years was at the Indians games in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. I remember going with my dad and getting a burger from there. It was just like a cheeseburger, I think. Nothing special about it, but it was down by where they would have the team shop. And I remember getting a really good burger from there. For some reason, that stands out to me. So, like, you can still keep it simple and stick to the classics, but if you do it right, I think that's all you need. You don't need like all these fancy options. Almost like when you go to Guardians game now, I feel bad that I can't eat more because there's like 5 things that I want to try. So maybe I just need to start going to more games. But then also talk about Guardians, Indians, or Guardians, Browns, Cavs games, because those are the ones that we go to the most. But still, to me, the one concession stand I got to go to is Augusta, that we'll see and hear more about in the next month. Just
pimento cheese sandwich.
Everything there. Yeah, pimento cheese. I went on like a 4-month pimento cheese kick last year, and I'll probably get around to starting it up here again in another month. Pimento cheese sandwich, the chicken sandwich, they have those peach ice cream sandwiches. I want one of those. There's got to be a way I can order that. So that's like a special one, to where super cheap. You basically get one of everything on the menu for $20, and try everything.
We should do illegal ham on the road and just go to Augusta, me and you.
Oh, yeah, dream come true. I need to, and I don't know why. It's probably too late this year, but all you have to do is you find out online to sign up for the raffle, and then if you get picked, boom, you're going. The problem is, I think you only get like 2 tickets or something. So it's you and a guest trying to figure out who would you take with that other ticket. I would probably upset far more people than I would make one person happy.
What you would have to do is you got to dangle it in front of them like fruit and be like, all right, who's my best friend? Who's gonna give me what are you bringing to the table for the trip?
I thought about having a raffle of my own. If I win, then I'll have my own raffle and just put like everyone's name in there. But then my luck, I'll probably pick somebody who wants to go to bed at 8:00 and wake up and jog and then go walk all day at Augusta. And I'll just be like, man, no, this is bucket list thing. We got to live it to the max.
You'll see me at the food tent.
Yeah, I want to be hungover until I get the hair of the dog, and then I start it all over again the next day and just living my best life.
All right. Good God, I love it. I love it. All right, Brian, you want to get our trivia, and then we'll finish out our top 3, buddy.
Yep.
Trivia you gave to me said, who has the most head coaches?
Since 2000 in the
it's
NFL.
not the Browns.
The Browns are second with 13.
Second with 13. Why is that? I get the feeling it's a West Coast team, Bri. Am I right?
Yep.
I'm going to go Las Vegas Raiders.
There you go. Las Vegas, Oakland. I don't know if they're LA. 17 coaches, 25 years. Isn't that absurd? 17 and 25. Like, that's a lot of 1-year coaches. Like Pete Carroll, 1-year coach.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy? Antonio Pierce,
1-year
coach. Yeah, like it's crazy.
Jesus.
17. It's not 1 more than the Browns. It's 4 more than the Browns.
And the Browns are second.
Browns are second. Third is the Lions and the Dolphins with 12. And then Washington, Atlanta, and Buffalo with 11 each.
Where the fuck are the Jets?
That's what I thought your first guess was going to be. That probably would have been one of my guesses. I don't know. They had to be next with 10.
All right. God, the Jets, they got to be in there.
Just have been terrible. Same with
let me play the sounder for.
Well, and the funny thing is I think the Raiders haven't the Raiders been to a Super Bowl since 2000.
Yeah, wasn't it with Gruden?
No, I think Gruden was with Gruden beat him with Tampa Bay. I think. Was it Bill Callahan? Did Bill Callahan take him to a Super Bowl?
Might have.
That might be a good trivia.
Jets had a nice run with Rex, though. I forgot Rex Ryan.
Yeah, right. Rex Ryan. Yeah, I remember Rex. But I didn't think he was there for like 10 years or anything.
No, but still, Jesus.
Dude, Bill Belichick was there for like 2 days. Does that count?
Yeah, true. That should,
I don't know.
right?
Maybe.
I don't even think they inked right on that contract.
How do you make that mistake? Turned out pretty good for him, though.
Yeah.
Who knows? Right. Tom Brady could have been a Jet if he stuck around there.
Jesus God.
Just to twist the knife with those guys.
All right, let's get our top 3. All right, Bryce. So you got tonight top 3 shows or sporting events to watch to get you through a hangover. I love it. I love where your mind's at on this one. I'm going to let you take the lead. Give me your top 3, and then I will give you mine.
Yep. My number 3, I feel like they always have a marathon of this show on Sundays. And I feel like it used to be on maybe Spike TV or something. Now I think it's on Paramount, and they still have like marathons on. So like, wake up and I watch 4 episodes and wouldn't really even think twice before I fall asleep and then wake up and catch the end. Bar Rescue, John Taffer, always, and all the shows are basically the same, but there's always a little bit of crazy that goes into it. So I just remember watching so many bar rescues when I was hungover because they just playing back to back to back to back. So that's my number 3, bar rescue. Number 2, there's a show. I don't know if you've seen it. I think it primarily shows on the SEC network, but they might show it on ESPN from time to time. Have you heard of the show True South?
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
Oh man, it's so great to watch when you're hungover because there's a narrator there that his voice is very southern and just very soothing, and it's just very calming. So like easy to fall asleep to. They're going around to all these different like mom and pop places in the South, and they talk about the culture, they talk about, you know, the area, they talk about the backstory for these restaurant owners or shop owners or something. But so just something very relaxing and just puts me out. So love that one. And then my number 1 is golf. Nothing more relaxing than golf and seeing a beautiful sunny day and a lot of green grass and the whispering just kind of puts me in that mood. Because when you're hungover, you just want to sleep more. You just need something that is soothing that'll put you back to sleep. So get you in that right state of mind. So that's my top 3.
All right, so my number 3, Bri, and I don't know if you watched it, but for some odd reason, it comes on in my house, and I can watch it for hours, and I don't know why. Guy's Grocery Games.
Okay.
The cooking show with Guy Fieri where they have the chefs come in and they have go through the grocery store and they get stuff taken away from them, but they still got to cook something. And I don't know what it is about that.
I know
show,
of it.
I just, between that and probably Diners, Drive-In, and Dives, it's just.
I would eat like 5,000 calories if I watched Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Like, oh, that's a good idea. I should order one of those.
Number 2 for me, and it always, and like you said, there's reruns of it all the time, depending on where you find it. Big Bang Theory, because I feel like I could just shut my brain off and just like wake up. I've already seen all the episodes, so you wake up in the middle of an episode, you're like, oh, that's awesome. Oh, okay, all right, I'll watch this episode for a little bit, and then you kind of doze back off, and it's almost like it's like Thanksgiving with what is it, Christmas Eve with Christmas Story.
Oh yeah,
nonstop. You just keep waking. You never watch the full movie because you keep waking up in different spots of it. That's kind of the thing. And then one thing I like to do, Bri, and it's when I'm hungover like that, is I always like to find a movie franchise where I can start. So 3 or 4 movies in a row. You pretty much just veg out the whole day. So I kind of put down Marvel Run. And I would start watching some Marvel movies. And like, if I don't finish them, I've already seen them. Like, all right, well, let's move on to the next one. Let's watch Iron Man now. And then, you're watching Iron Man, you fall asleep. Iron Man's over. All right, it's time to watch Avengers. So I kind of do that with I call it the Marvel Run. But any kind of series like that, whether it be like John Wick, I'll fall asleep to like John Wick. Trying to think of other ones. The Equalizer, all those movies.
Okay.
Those kind of just, I'm not saying, yes, they're action-packed, they're loud, but I don't have the volume up that loud. And I can watch it, and I know exactly what happened with those movies. Like, the last one I did, Brian, was The Matrix. It's been a while since I rewatched The Matrix. So I did like a whole Matrix binge. I've watched all of them. I do kind of like that when I get hungover, is I'll find like 3 or 4 or 5 movies that I'll be like, I haven't watched in a while. And I'm like, we're doing this today. This is what we're doing the entire day. And here we go. Play.
Now I can't do that now anymore with a 1.5-year-old, but because that just seems like a dream. That seems too good. Now when you're hungover, you have to dad hungover, and there's nothing worse than that.
Well, the good thing is like my kids get into the movies too. So like we're not gonna lie, you can dad watch a movie, be like, oh yeah, this is a great movie. Next thing you know, you close your eyes for about 45 minutes, you wake up, and then like. And they're just sitting there still watching the movie. Like, oh, it's a pretty good movie, right? Like, yeah, Dad, we like this movie. Like, and then you wake up again and you're like, yeah, you guys want to watch the next one? Yeah. Like, I've been doing that with Harry Potter with them.
Oh, okay. Now you're talking. Yeah, get them a real long long couple movies, so you can all you have to do is wake up and hit play and then go right back to sleep.
Well, the good thing now is they have the automatic play. So as soon as like the one's done, they'll be like, all right, let's go to episode 2. And they're just sitting there. Like,
even better.
Love it.
Just don't bother me. Quiet time.
Like,
do you remember the night that we went out with Phillips when to Dover Garden? You know the night I'm talking about where we had our Christmas bonuses and we went there.
Yes.
The next day, so I left very early, but you and Phillips watched one movie and you both kept falling asleep and you kept restarting the movie. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know, and I can't remember the movie offhand.
Oh, you're gonna have to reach out to Phillips, because I remember hearing stories about you guys restarted like 4 or 5 times because you both kept passing out.
We would get to the same part of the movie and pass out. Like, did you watch all that? No. And it was a newer movie that came out too, and I can't remember at the time it was a newer movie.
Yeah,
so this is like 20 years ago, people. So like,
no, that was although it was probably 12 years ago or so.
Yeah, I know, because we started laughing about it. So like we watched that movie, and I never watched the end of it.
And that's how you spent your whole Saturday.
Oh my god, that was a long day though, dude.
Man, tell me about it.
That was a long. Like, hey. We went for happy hour and we closed down the bar.
We went. Our plan was go to happy hour, then go back to your house, and then we'll go back at like 9 or 10. No, it turned from 5 o'clock until 2 a.m.
3 a.m. with some shenanigans in between and maybe some fights and sitting there with a dip in, just giggling in the chair outside.
Well, I got away. Like your guys' bills were like $150, $200, and my bill was like $40. And you guys were so mad at me, but I'm like, every time I had a full beer in my hand, you guys would just hand me another one. I'm like, well, I guess I don't need to buy any beers, because they just kept coming. Kept coming. I'm like, well, I never had a chance to buy beer because I was never empty.
I think that was the first time that not the first time. It might have been the second time I had a 2-day hangover on that one.
Oh.
Like that hangover rolled into the next day, and I was like, ugh.
Oh yeah. Well, now it's common. If you hit it too hard, we're at the age where a 2-day hangover is common if you go super hard. I was hungover the whole next day, and then I ended up going out. I was like, all right, I just got to get out of the house. So I ended up going out to B-Dubs here in Medina because Toledo was playing in a bowl game. And so I had a couple friends that were out there. So it took me, but like maybe 3 beers at 7 o'clock at night to start feeling normal again.
It took 5 guys the next day after that to get me normal again.
On Sunday. Oh, geez. And that's what we need to talk about. Yeah, how to get feeling normal after a hangover.
That should be
usually food or more alcohol.
Beers. There it is. Next week, top 3 hangover.
I don't have one. I'll spoil. I have things that help a little bit, but there's nothing that cures it.
Or hey, top 3 go-to for your hangovers next day.
Oh, I used to. Sometimes I would go to Taco Bell night of. And I would be so tired by the time I got home. I'd just be like, all right, I'm not going to waste this now. I'm going to save it so I have it in the morning. And then there's nothing worse than reheated Taco Bell at 8 o'clock the next morning.
Now, refresh my memory. I believe that we stopped at the convenience store on the way home, and Phillips bought this super bag of popcorn.
That sounds familiar.
Popcorn. Like
you'll have to ask him. I can't say for certain that we did that.
I swear to God, I thought he did, because I thought it was one of those big bags of popcorn that you hold up and it's like 3 feet long. And I remember him just eating out of his bag at night.
Oh, that'll go quick. Yeah, you just don't stop. You could eat popcorn for an hour in that state.
All right. Well, now that we went down memory lane here behind.
Yeah. All right. That was good. Sure.
Get a little insight to what Brian and I do outside this show. Jesus God.
Text Phillips. Find out what movie that was. I want to say Ryan Reynolds movie, but I can't remember.
I want to say it too, but I don't think it was.
Okay. He'll know.
We'll figure it out. All right, we're here at the end of the show. Thank you guys, everybody, for watching and letting me and Brian ramble on the past 10 minutes about hangovers. Catch us next week live here on Tuesday. We'll have a great show for you then. Brian, God bless them.
Yeah, God bless you. God bless America.
We want to thank our troops and first responders for everything you guys do for us. We cannot thank you enough.
Amen.
And with that being said, we're definitely uncorked, unloaded. We're out. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a great night.